Good morning, good morning. Welcome to my living room, or again, if you're watching this in the afternoon, good afternoon. I hope that you had a good night's sleep and that so far your morning and your day is going along wonderfully. I'm really excited about this morning. I know I say that every morning because, every morning it's good stuff. What can I say? So I carry around this little notebook. And whenever I have inspiration throughout the day, I'll jot something down. And I had like a couple of different things that I wanted us to pray about this morning. And then, of course, I open up one of my handy dandy books. This time I'm looking at Ernest Holmes' Hidden Power of the Bible. And my eyes fall to this. If one labors under a great burden of past mistakes, he devitalizes his body. And if the condemnation is great enough, it might render the body incapable of moving. And I was thinking about that and thinking about guilt, past guilt, or guilt that we're currently carrying, and was feeling very guided because it goes along with our whole prayer yesterday about the lie that we've been told that we're born into sin and there's something wrong with us. That's all part of this guilt complex. So it seemed like a natural progression for this morning, and that spirit is really guiding us to alleviate the guilt, because the guilt covers your heart. Guilt, one spiritual teacher, Gary Zukov, he says that guilt is a negative emotion on top of a negative emotion. It really doesn't serve you. And I know other teachers, they talk about, well, guilt is your conscience way of guiding you. And, we don't need to feel guilty about things to do the right thing, right? We don't need punishment or self-punishment, because that's what guilt is. We're punishing ourselves. We don't need self-punishment in order to do the right thing. What I want you to focus on is, am I getting the results that I want in life? Is my behavior producing harmony? Is it producing good relationships? Is it producing or contributing to my financial well-being? Focus on results. But the only way that you can really do that with a clear mind is if you are master of your emotional body, if you are master of the emotions. When next week I start my mentorship program, I start enrollment, and the first thing we're going to do is learn to understand our emotions and be master of our emotions, because it's difficult to get into that deeper knowing if your emotional body is all over the place and you have no control over it. So focus on the results. I have done things that I am not proud of. I'm sure you have too. So we're going to talk about different kinds of guilt this morning. I have done things that I'm not proud of. In fact, this did come to me yesterday. I wrote it down in my little book. A combination of fear, this is for me personally, fear, low self-esteem. I talk about the self-esteem thing. If you got low self-esteem, that it's very difficult to live with. People pleasing, those three things, because when you're a people pleaser, I'm a people pleaser. It's hard to set boundaries. It's hard to say no. You don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. People pleasers tend to be very sensitive. So that combination of fear, low self-esteem, and people pleasing has led me to make some really bad decisions, hurtful decisions for myself and hurtful decisions for others. So what am I saying? To really get at the heart of healing the guilt, you really need to know yourself. You need to understand what drives behavior that doesn't serve you. Because your life and my life is a co-creation with the universe, with the universal forces. We're not out here by ourselves just trying to figure it out. Source is always speaking to you. Always. Your angels, your guides, you have unseen and hidden forces all around you that are supporting you and cheering for you. And so it's learning how to co-create with those forces. But in order to do that, you really, really need to know yourself. Now, some of us have guilt because we feel guilty about things that the culture tells us that we should feel guilty about, you know. So sex is a big one. People have all kinds of feelings and guilt and angst about that. And a lot of that is cultural. So remember, is my behavior producing the results that I want? That's the measure. The other kinds of guilt are victims. People who have been hurt by someone else oftentimes carry around a lot of guilt. And then there are those of us who have survivor's guilt, you know, and so why is it okay that I survived and I did okay and these other people didn't? And so we're carrying around survivor's guilt. I want you to take a deep breath, sigh it out, and let's contemplate this. If one labors under a great burden of past mistakes, he devitalizes his body, her body. The guilt is not serving you. It's not helping you to be a better person. It's devitalizing your body. It's sucking away your vital energy. It's keeping you from being and doing the thing that you are meant to be and do while you're here. You know, we all have a purpose, even if that purpose is growing vegetables, you know, or raising children and caretaking, or, you know, being a salesperson. Whatever your purpose is, actually everybody's purpose is to be kind and to feel love and to do loving things. So the guilt is getting in the way of that. I want to set up a reason for you in your mind so that your mind will agree to let the guilt go. Your subconscious mind, its number one directive is to care for the body, to run the body, to keep the integrity of the body moving forward, yes? So you don't have to think about, you know, your heart beating or your digestion. You don't have to think about holding up your cup of coffee and putting it to your lips. Your unconscious mind is running the body. So keeping the body running and healthy is its number one directive. So if we can understand that the guilt that we're carrying, the wrong that we've done, listen, if you've done wrong and you need to ask for somebody's forgiveness, then do that and then move on. So the guilt is keeping us, is harmful to the body. It's harmful to the emotional body, to the mental body, and to the physical body. So this is what we also need to know, since our life is a co-creation. The eternal heart is one of love, and that spirit forgives from the foundation of the universe. Isn't that beautiful? Take a deep breath. Sigh it out. I know we are healing some stuff today. I can feel it. The divine mind is too pure to behold evil and knows nothing about sin. Sin is ignorance. So what that means is that in the mind of the divine, in the mind of Source, there is only one. There is only one truth. And that truth is love. That truth is goodness. That truth is wholeness. In the one, there can be nothing opposed to it. Does this make sense? There's nothing opposed to the one thing, to the one mind. And so, because there's nothing opposed to the goodness, there is only goodness there. And so in our meditation, we can move into the goodness and the wholeness, into the love. Because remember, that's your nature. It is your nature beyond your ego, beyond everything that you've ever done or everything that was ever done to you. There is the divine nature there. It's right where you are. And we talk about this a lot. So when you are in tune with it, where you are is holy ground. This is where you feel the connection and the aliveness that is your life, and that is all around you. Yes? Isn't this good stuff? You see why I get up and I get so excited, because I'm so excited to share this with you. I am knowing right here and right now that those of us that are carrying the burden of guilt, the burden that has been covering our hearts, that's been hurting our hearts, hurting the body, causing the body to be devitalized, I know that it is being lifted. Right? And that we are moving forward in joy. And we haven't even started our prayer yet, and I'm already knowing that. So I'm going to take a sip of I'm having better coffee today because it sounded good. You know, bulletproof coffee. I'm such a marketing person. Good morning. because I was on Instagram and then I see bulletproof coffee and I'm like, yeah, I haven't had that in a while. I'm going to try it. So anyway, let's move into our meditation and prayers. Let's take 3 hot breaths together. Go ahead, close your eyes, tilt your chin slightly down so that the back of your neck is nice and long. And yes, let's take 3 hot breaths together. Inhale and exhale. Inhaling, exhaling, and inhaling, and exhaling. And in our mind's eye, let's pull down that beautiful golden light from the heavens, and the light moves into the crown of the head. Healing, balancing, loving light. The light moves down into the nervous system, in the spine, moves down the length of the spine, healing and balancing the nervous system. The light moves all the way down to the tips of our toes and the tips of our fingers. The light fills the body and spills out of the body all around us, so that that light is moving through you, it's inside of you, and it's all around you. And we bring our awareness now into the level of our heart, breathing into the heart center. Notice if there's any heaviness in the heart, any heaviness in the chest. Good. Breathing into the heart center, knowing that any guilt that we're carrying is just in the way of us living in our fullness. And so this is what we're knowing. We are knowing that the antidote to guilt and carrying guilt is to know thyself, to understand the mind, but to know even on a deeper level that what we are is connected to the divine, that the wholeness, the goodness, the love, all the yumminess that the divine is our nature. We are knowing that we are created in the image and the likeness of the divine. And when we are in that place, there is no ignorance, there is no doubt, there is no division, there is only love. And so I'm feeling some people are resisting. They're feeling like they don't deserve that divine love. So let's take care of that right now. We are knowing that we are deserving of everything that the divine has to offer us, the abundance. We've been promised the kingdom right here and right now. And so we are asking for guidance. What needs to be lifted so that we feel deserving of all the love? Because Source is not holding this back. We are holding it back from ourselves. And so we are asking for guidance so that we can be open to receive, to receiving the love, receiving the forgiveness, receiving the abundance, knowing that we are worthy. We are worthy because we are alive. We are worthy because we are children of the Most High. So let's finish our meditation prayer by inhaling, and in silence or to yourself say, I am. And when you exhale, say, worthy. Inhaling, I am. Exhaling, worthy. I am. Exhaling, worthy. Beautiful. Everybody take a nice, long, deep inhale. Sigh it out. Coming all the way back to the room, very gently opening up your eyes, wiggle your fingers and your toes, give yourself a hug. And then give yourself another hug because it feels good. So unworthiness came up, that some of us, and this is one of those weird cultural things. This is exactly, if you're feeling unworthy, I want you to watch the prayer from yesterday about, you know, that there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong. I was talking to a friend of mine about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I was going to save this for Christmas time, but I'm just going to tell you about it. I was watching Rudolph, you know, over the holiday, and that story is so negative. Nobody loved Rudolph until he could do something for them. He was, you know, remember, he ran away. He was rejected by everybody. He didn't fit in, and they made fun of him. But then he came back and he saved Christmas. And it sets up this idea, it's this cultural story that you have to do something before you have to earn people's love. That's basically what the story is. It's a cultural story. And again, it's not true. You don't have to earn anyone's love. You are already loved. You are already worthy. You are already whole. It's you coming to the sense of knowing that and putting down those lies, putting down the guilt. So I want you to intone this all day. I am worthy. I am loved. And I show my love, right? Anyway, our time is up. It was so much fun. I will see you here tomorrow at 6 a.m. Namaste.